you the ROI from AI. And Dr. Jeff is in the building tonight.
Hello, everybody. This is another episode of AI Hustle with Dr. Jeff. And I am your host, Dr. Jeff Bullock, founder and CEO of PRISM. We got a special guest in the building today, Mr. Dan Garrett. Hello, Mr. Dan Garrett. How are you today?
I'd be very good today. Thank you, Jeff.
Awesome. Okay.
Looking forward to this.
Me too. I am as well. Dan comes to us with a wealth of knowledge, specifically in many fields, but I would say specifically sales, B2B sales, 40 years. I don't want to take away any of your shine or thunder. Why don't you introduce us to yourself or what you've done in the past and get your background something.
Well, I started my professional career as a rock and roll musician. And when my daughter came along, my wife said, time to get a real job. So I ended up working for manufacturers forever and gradually worked up through the chain into sales manager, vice president of sales, vice president of sales and marketing. And along the way, we put together about 5 or 6 startups. And one of them did quite well. We sold to Creative Labs, if you all remember them, in 1998 for about 120 million cash. So after that, I ended up working for Uli Behringer and moved to Europe, where I ran about a $250 million sales organization with people all over the world. It was a lot of fun. Europe is just great. Glad when we came back home, but it was a lot of fun for the few years that I was over there. So last couple of years, I've been working for one of the guys I met at BNI and Stotts and Fetzinger and doing key accounts and purchasing. Thought it was my retirement job. It ended up being full-time and quite intense sometimes. But it was fun. So that's me in a nutshell.
Awesome. Okay. Well, for those who are like, okay, well, why are we bringing Dan on today? Well, Dan is actually a consultant now for PRISM AI Consultants. So him being having such a wealth of knowledge in sales and rock and roll music, what was it? Synthesizers, so many different things done over the year. I thought it'd be cool to look at how has different things in the industries changed over the years, because AI is an innovative industry and it's changing, and we're seeing this change real time. But Dan has seen many changes over his career, and I thought it'd be good for us to kind of see that. So Dan, you've been in B2B sales for 40 years. You've seen the internet, the smartphone, social media all transform how we sell. So what do you think that makes AI different from those?
Yeah, well, each of those had its own set of issues getting started. I mean, I still remember internet with only lowercase letters. That's the only way you could get somebody or to somebody or something. And I mean, gradually it transformed and became more capable. In all of those systems, though, it's really a one-way. Well, you even have conversations, but I think of it as more the information flowing in. So if you got a website, it's collecting information. If you're getting emails, you're collecting information. So once you start getting that flow, you start becoming overwhelmed. And what I saw in my investigation on AI is that there was a way to implement it so it could mitigate some of that, but in that process, freeing up time. So I don't think the internet ever freed up any time or social media. So it's going to be very interesting. I'm really excited about this opportunity with you, with PRISM. And I can just see it just continuing to grow and manifest in different ways. It's going to be truly a rock and roll career.
Yeah, so let's talk about, because you've dealt with business organizations as they've come up, right? So you and not only as they come up, but then at the top, like dealing with some triple-digit million numbers. That is no small feat. So, I talk to people at different stages of business all the time. The startups, to the small business, to mid-sized businesses. So, people doing, $1,000 a week, doing people trying to doing $1 million a year, to people doing $10 million a year. And I would love to get to the 250 million people. But what would you say some of those challenges, like when you were scaling with these companies, what were your actual experiences in those times, even outside of AI? Just what have been those experiences when people were scaling at you?
Well, very early on, when we probably the most successful company that I was involved with was Ensoniq, and it was founded by 3 people who were head of operations and head of computer development at Commodore. One of them actually developed the Commodore 64, if you remember that. But they brought in some consultants, and these guys were really just nice guys, and you could talk to them. And my initial question was, how do I build market share? And they said, you got to build awareness. So market share, selling more, was about making people aware. And I think in every startup that I was involved with, that was the biggest challenge. How do we get our message out there and say, this is something important, you should pay attention to it? We actually did have a very important keyboard, and it did do very well. And we got off the ground pretty quickly, which made my job in sales a whole lot easier. But I think that was probably the number one, is how do you build it? How do you build awareness? And there are so many avenues, and some of them are hugely expensive. Like one of our investors at the time wanted us to go big time with marketing. And there wasn't the internet to market. So that would have been a lot of money for a startup just to get that going. Also, I hired people who had a Rolodex. You remember Rolodex?
Yeah. You flip the cards. There's cards inside of the system. You will flip them.
So they had the right Rolodex. They knew everybody in their part of the world who was important, and they knew how to talk to them. So hiring the right people it's almost a no-brainer. If you hire the wrong people, you got a problem. But hiring the right people really made the difference. So we had good products. We had a creative environment at the time. Synthesizers were just coming into the world, and samplers. And we had good people. And I had the trust and cooperation from all the executive people, which I are one. I guess I became one at some point. It was fun. It was a lot of fun. That was probably the most fun I had in a long time.
Okay. So would you say the reason why you had so much fun was because of the people, like the energy, the personalities, or was it because of the challenge? Okay, no, it was that.
Well, there's the challenge always drives you one way or the other. Either you're happy and successful, or you're going nuts trying to keep up. Eventually, I think that ties back to why I'm here, because of the keeping up part. But no, it was the group of people. I think it's the best group of people. Gosh, I've been in several companies, and some people say I can't keep a job, but I was there about 17 years, and it was just remarkable how it grew, and good times and bad times.
Yep. Yeah. So the reason why I asked this question is, like, as somebody who is trying to scale their business, and there may be people out there as well as trying to scale their business, someone who is a veteran of your source with the sales and being in the part of these businesses, like things that still stick out to you to this day, that company that you were with for 17 years, the people, right? So, and I love how you said that, because AI don't change that. It's still going to be the people, right? So AI, in this AI world, how do we ensure that we have the right team and we're picking the right people? It's not going, like, people are talking about how AI is going to take jobs. It's not going to be. No, still, people are going to be what makes people want to come to work. You want to make sure that you're surrounding yourself around the right people. And I would say that those people who are surrounding themselves, they should know how to use AI, right? The other big thing.
I think of most of the people that I've met that are somewhat challenged by AI or think they are, just haven't experienced it. They haven't had the right kind of mentorship, or they got involved with a program that thought that just writing some kind of query and engineering an inquiry is the whole ballgame. And it's not. It's the implementation and the training, and it's getting the right deliverables, all the rest of that stuff. I mean, it was the same thing when you were looking at an advertising agency. Were you getting the right deliverables? Were they doing it with the right people? And so I think there's a lot of tie-ins in all of this. But I think the people, we had good people, we had good engineers, we had great customer service people, and we hired pretty much. I had 70% or 85% of our direct labor was Vietnamese, not by intent. They just kept showing up. When there was a job interview, they just kept showing up, and they were really good people, hard workers. I had a few in my office, and we looked like the United Nations in the sales office, but it was fun. It was fun. Everybody was a musician, so that kind of helped.
Okay, I will say that, yes, that probably did help some. Did y'all have jam sessions?
Sometimes they were intense days. I got to tell you, we at one point we had 95 market share, and the second competitor was Yamaha, and they were way down there. So, and I had 1/10 the sales staff that they had in the field. So, it's back to the people and the implementation.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so the awareness of, there was the other one too that you said, which is still a thing now, right? If people do not know who you are, then they cannot contract your services or buy your product.
Yep.
So what did you do back then to increase awareness? I know you said there were expensive ways to do it. But do you remember some of the non-expensive ways?
This is a part that I wish I had AI with, because I had to write a lot of code. We couldn't afford a customer relations management program, so I wrote one, and it was a constant annoyance because it took time, and if something broke, I was the only one who could fix it. I didn't like that solution at all. But the guys as musicians, they were confident. I mean, one guy had a PhD in music theory, and some of the other guys had been playing forever. We were in our 30s at that point. Anyway, they could do clinics where they could get up in front of people and demonstrate the products and field questions. And that was one of our secret weapons.
So they could play. So they were playing the keyboards in front and saying so people could hear how it sounds. Okay, so they was doing live demos. So you've been doing live demos for 50 years. Okay. So that's how they got the awareness out for the product, and then I guess they
getting in front of people.
Getting in front of people. Okay.
And one thing I should say is the dealers who did the presentations or hosted the presentations, and it was always the dealers. It wasn't us going out to a hotel. They formed their mailing lists and their databases, and they had their people call out. So we managed to motivate other people to do part of the work. But there were results. We sold product every night. Every night we did a clinic. And a lot of times we sold out. So
wow. All right. So then from an AI standpoint now, because what you're saying is it seems like it's just principles, right? Like awareness, has not changed. The hiring good people, that has not changed. Enjoying what you do and working hard and communication, that has not changed. Good products is one of the things that you said, that has not changed. So in all of your experience, and now what you know about AI, what you know about AI, what would be, I guess, what does change in your opinion? This is just for your opinion, what changes now? One thing you said was hey, well, I had to code back then, but they had no CRM, so you had to actually do the coding. That's a lot easier. That barrier has been removed, or has been significantly, the bar has significantly lowered. with AI tools. What other things do you see, if anything, that AI now can help? If you were in that situation back then, if you had
Yeah.
AI, how would it have been done differently?
I think the first thing I would have harvested the information better. I mean, as you and I have talked and worked together, having the speech to text program recording everything that we were saying, you constantly miss stuff in a meeting, not intentionally, but you miss stuff. And being able to go back over those text reports,
Yep.
that would have been a big help. But then, boy, if I wanted to do a marketing campaign targeted at something specific, I'd have to get like 4 or 5 people in a room. I have to make sure that the illustrator guys were up to it, and and I could get enough money from my boss to go ahead and do something. So a lot of the legwork, I see the potential and sometimes the reality of AI being able to get involved. And I think that's what I would try to do now. I don't think I would go online and say, okay, today I'm going to learn Claude. There's a lot to learn. And I don't know that I could do the implementation that a team of people can do. So to me, it's not just having the programs there and accessible to me individually on the internet. It's how do they work together? How do you get experience to make that happen?
I like that.
I think that's probably.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. Well, I was going to say that's probably when I first started. I spent all last summer getting certificates, and it helped me understand how to engineer a prompt. That was cool, but I don't want to sit there and engineer prompts all day long. I have work I want to get done. So it's how do you get Claude to engineer the prompts or Chat GPT? I don't want to do them. I want to tell it what I want to get done, and I think that's what's coming to us. We can describe the environment we want to live in and work in, and be assisted and enhanced to some extent by having AI available to us. Again,
yes, I like that.
But with the right implementation.
With the right implementation. So, like, one of the things that you said in there was, and I think this is like, for if there are other AI consultants or other people thinking like, well, where do I start? What I'm seeing a lot of is people are just grabbing tools and just using tools because they saw it on Instagram or they saw it in it. It's like, this is what I would tell everybody. What do you actually do? Start with your actual current workflow and then see if you can either automate or augment that. What tool helps with that specific thing? What is the goal you're trying to reach? Start with that, and then we work back and say, okay, now what tools can I use to help me reach this goal? Dan spoke to the certificates that he got. He got a whole bunch of certificates. I know there's a lot of people out there, and people ask me all the time, hey, which certificates should I have? Which programs? Now, yes, I have some certificates, but really, you want to know what my what I say is, like, what have you built? What have you done? Like, that to me is more important than the certificates. It's like, do you got the proof that you can actually do a thing? And that is what businesses are going to be looking for as well going forward. What have you actually done? Yes, it's good that you know that Gemini, and attention is all you need. Paper came out in 2008 or 2017. That is good information to know. What have you built? Like, what are you actually? How are you actually able to use this to actually get something? So I think I like that as well. And the way that you do it is by starting with the workflow and then doing it, actually touching it and implementing, actually changing your behavior pattern, and then seeing, oh, it's not that bad. But everybody, it feels very overwhelming if you look at it as a whole. Just take piece by piece. This is what I'm doing. This is my workflow. How can I have a tool help me with this specific thing? And then the next thing, and then before you know it, now you have a base, and then you can go to the next level and the next level. You build on top like bricks. So that's the advice that I would give. Go ahead, Dan.
Yeah, I think to me, thinking about why I made the change to come with you or looking forward for you to hire me at some point. It was going to be an iterative process that would take maybe forever for me to examine whatever local workflow I had and critique it. I mean, I have enough experience that I probably could do it a little quicker than some, but boy, a lot of people that are out there and just trying to make it every day, they don't have time to really go back and think about their workflow. They'd like to. I bet you everybody would like to have the time to examine how they work and why they do it that way. And is there a better method? And I think that helps us jumpstart into the better method without having to lose our minds trying to find the detail.
Yep. I agree with you. Okay. So what would you say? And I mean, I know I'm putting you on the spot here, but what is something here that you are, I'll give you two things. First we'll start with, what are you most excited about with this new journey with helping usher people in to, like, with this technology? This is a big deal. Like, this is life-changing stuff. And you're helping people do things like solve, like a typical PRISM client saves between 50 and 100 hours per month. They generate revenue. They make your life easier. So I guess first, what are you most excited about in that regard?
Well, I would sometimes sit in meetings with my boss and he was just ragged. He was tired. He had so much to do that, and he had the idiot stuff to do too. I mean, he had paperwork to do and forms to fill out and all that crap. And I think the biggest thing that I see coming is for people's creativity to take a more front and center position, that the really nitty stuff we can begin to address, and it's only going to get better. It's only going to get better. But if you get in now, you get time back now. That's right. The sooner you start moving, the sooner you start getting, and maybe the time comes in that, I missed a lot of things with my kids. A couple of years, I was 6-7 months overseas, and they weren't. So if I had some of that time back, that would be very helpful. But I bet people would be a lot more awake in meetings if they didn't have to do all the stupid stuff just to keep the business functioning. And they got to do it now. Yeah. That I think is the most exciting thing to me, giving people time back.
Giving people time back. Okay. And then now the second one is, what are you most concerned about with AI? Not just with PRISM, but just with AI, like, and I'll go first. No, I'm gonna let you go because I talk a lot. What are you most, from what you know, or what are you most concerned about with AI? Because AI is not all good. So there are definitely a lot of concerns, a lot of, uncomfortabilities with it. So any of those come to your mind? And what is, like I said, what was the one that, were you most concerned about?
I think, Google's using AI now for queries, and sometimes it's just plain wrong. Sometimes you can recognize that. Sometimes you can recognize it. Sometimes you can't. And I think an over-reliance on AI without understanding the limits, or at least being curious about the limits. Maybe you're not ready to take it on the side of the head, but you really want to say, from the inside of my head, I want to understand what just happened. So I've had a couple things on Facebook where I pulled them down. I thought they were correct. And then I did a little deeper checking, and they weren't. So AI can make mistakes, and you have to accept that. But at the same time, every professional makes mistakes. So you have a team of professionals in AI. And I think you mentioned that to me some time ago, that you need to think of this as having 7 Einsteins in different fields sitting behind the computer saying, what do you want to do, Dan?
That's right. Team of experts.
At the same time, realizing they can make mistakes. So a little caution, but and good anticipation. And I think it really, I don't want to keep going on this, but I really think it comes back to the implementation of the deliverables. I can't think of anything more important than understanding what it is that you're getting involved with and getting some training. You have to get some training.
I agree with that. I think that that's actually one of my biggest concerns too, if not the one, is the miscommunication or misinformation that will be pushed into the internet, that is being pushed into the internet. Because the thing about it is, even if it's a lie, even if you see the lie, once you consume a thing, you consumed it. Like it affects you regardless, whether it's true or not, whether you catch it or not. It affects you and the scale and the rate at which these things are going to be just this information is just going to be out there and already is out there, and you just can't trust what you see anymore. That is my number one concern with AI as well. So I share your sentiments, sir. Well, Dan, I appreciate you. Come on. I appreciate you in more ways than one. You're a PRISM AI consultant, Lehigh Valley. You're gracing us with your abilities. So lucky to have you with all your wealth of knowledge. How I just see this landscape, like there's going to be a lot more AI consultants coming, not just PRISM in general, and I welcome it. People say, well, Jeff, competition. Everybody's going to need to the world's different now, okay? Computers, they different now. So it's going to be a lot of consultants that are needed. People are going to need people. People, that's a good thing. That a person is talking to a person to help them. Wouldn't you rather be a person than just the AI, just the machines? So there's going to be a lot more consultants out there. And the thing I want people to think about is, if you already have extreme domain expertise, right? I'm a pharmacist. So when I prompt on pharmacy, it's pretty good because I have domain expertise in that. Dan has sales domain expertise. So when he uses AI for sales versus if I'm using AI for sales, he's going to win. I'm telling y'all. I don't care that I did this. He has better sales expertise than I do. He's going to ask better questions. He's going to prompt better. So whether you're in healthcare, whether you're in video editing, whether you're in accounting, it doesn't matter what your domain expertise is. When you have that and you put AI on top of it, that amplifies what you can do, and it allows you to help people even more. So we're going to have way more consultants, and like I say, I welcome it. Thank you so much today for your time, Dan, and everybody in Lehigh Valley. If you see him out there in the wild, give him some love, and welcome aboard. Thank you.
Jeff, I only have one quick question. How come the program we're using changed my hair to gray?
I don't know. I gotta ask about that. I'll see why they did that. They put those AI filters. All right. Without asking anybody. That's what it was.
I hope I answered some questions.
If you guys are looking to do more with PRISM, you can join our community on school.com, SKOOL. We got about 600, over 600 people in that community right now. Love to have you on board if you're looking to learn. If you're looking to do more on a one-on-one basis, jump on my calendar or jump on Dan's calendar, and we'll be able to help you reach your goals, whatever those goals may be, with the power of AI. But regardless, make sure that you are nice to yourself. Thank you very much, and I'll catch y'all later. Have a good day.
Sound the car engine turning off. Keys jingling, deep exhale. 8:55 a.m. same parking spot. White coat in the back seat.
Welcome to Farmageddon, don't lose your mind. 4 meters running, you're running out of time. Stress going up and your safety going down. One wrong feel and they shut the whole thing down. Farmageddon, bet you won't survive this shit. Number 7, Farmageddon, bet you won't survive the shift. Number 7, drive through beeping, line 3 on hold. Corporate wants some metrics, do what you're told. Student tech is panicking, drop the vial. Waiting bin is packed, overflowing down the aisle. Hydrocodone, metformin, lisinopril. Verify the dose of somebody getting ill. Combo streak is building, don't break the chain. One more fill, and I'm back in